What is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan and the End. I'm your host, as always, Steven Rychel. To the right of me, the big man, Mr. Ben Troupe. And right below me is the man, the myth, the legend, Marvin on the mic, Mr. Marvin Powell III. Marvin, how are we feeling today, fellas?
Fortunate. It's fortunate.
Blessed. Yeah, man, just blessed, man. Always praying more for you and the missus, man. You
yeah.
One day we gonna do
as you're wearing the fight wax shirt, I did say something to Lincoln, and he did say pass on my
yeah, man. We're gonna do the husband
awards. My thoughts and my prayers to him.
We're gonna come up with the husband awards 2027. I don't know how you're gonna do something like that, and then we're just gonna be honoring these husbands out here. And you can only get honored. You got to be 10 years plus in the game. You got to have at least a decade in the game because, you got to get to that point. That's what my dad said. He said, listen, man, I said, Pops, do it get easier? He goes, no, it don't get easier. He said, it just, you just don't care about stuff no more. That little petty stuff, that stuff go out the window, man. It ain't, man. And my mom and dad got almost 50 years in the game. So,
wow.
Yeah, they're doing the minute.
There you go.
50 years?
Yeah, my mom, not to put their business out there. My mom was 15. My dad was 19. Man, they still doing it.
Man, I just saw read an article that Geno Smith, his parents had him when they were in high school. His mom was 16. His mom was 15. His dad was 16 when he was born. They were young like that, man.
Yeah, man. They still. Let's see, 25, 35, 45, 55, 56, 57, 8, 9, 6, 1, 2, 3. Dang, it'll be 49 years this year.
It's a blessing, brother.
Yeah, man, they still doing it.
It's a rare one this day and age. It's few and far
So shout out to Mom, Dukes, and Pops, man. They probably somewhere arguing right now over a parking spot. Right.
Man, look, I've been with my girl 26 years, 19 years married, more than half my life.
Let's do it. Listen. So if anybody know Marv, she knows Marv. Like, I know. Yeah, he.
She knows. She stuck around for all my shenanigans, I had to evolve, man. I had to evolve.
Listen, Marv, with all these couples doing these podcasts, you and your wife need to jump on that and say, listen, let me tell y'all youngins something.
I told her that.
Ain't doing nothing bad.
Listen, if y'all find time to do that, that's even better. Pass that knowledge on to some of these kids and young adults these days that thinking, at the first sign of trouble, y'all just run off and do your own thing.
Exactly.
Hey, make it simple for all men looking to get married. Who married? This is the rule you got to live by. Stay in the house. Okay, just stay in the house. Get all the channels on the TV, but stay in the house. All right, that's the number one thing I would tell any young man, any young ambitious man out there. Stay in the house.
All right. Yeah. Before we get too far into it, let's also remember this episode is brought to you by Fight Wax. Fight Wax is the ultimate skin defense. Helps treat cuts, swelling, scrapes, and abrasion, rejuvenates, restores stressed skin. Customers have used for soreness, stiffness, and recovery. Designed for athletes of all active lifestyles. Provides an ultra silky, non-greasy feel, deep hydration for everyday skincare, helps fight dry skin. Customers have used for eczema, psoriasis, and other skin disorders. Make sure you check out the wax. Make sure you get some of that pet stuff for your kids. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but Mr. Marvin Powell is wearing his hoodie today. Got to give some love to Lincoln and the crew over there at Fight Wax. Appreciate the love. Ben has to dig out
mine somewhere in here. We get Amazon packages like every day in this house. Like we are Amazon distribution center. So when I find my box, my wife probably think it's one of hers because she only one getting. When I find mine next episode, I might I'll have mine on too. That way I'm repping
on the next episode. But I do want to kick things off with some USC stuff. I did see some reports this week. I wanted to get Marvin's thoughts on this, right? So obviously Matt Leinart's one of them guys at USC, right? So he did some type of podcast, right? And was basically asked about his jersey number, right? And he said that, number of times that USC has asked him to unretire his jersey for some 5-star prospect or whatever. And asked what he said to God. And he said, absolutely bleeping not. I'm never going to unretire my jersey for some random dude who by the way, could wear 11, transfer another year after that. That was the initial comment, but I guess he had went further into it with that after the podcast had come out, and basically said, like, Coach Riley, hasn't asked me if a recruit can wear my number, so we can settle that right now. I've been asked in the past before, and I've said the same thing every time. This isn't a big deal, fight on, like this, to him it's like a non-issue. First, I'm going to get your thoughts, Marvin. I'm going to sit there and say this, though. I don't think he's necessarily wrong. When your jersey is retired, unretiring it waters down the respect of having it retired, regardless if we're talking college sports, pro sports, whatever. Like if you go look at Dallas in the number 88, that should never be able to be retired anymore. It should never be able to be retired anymore because it's been retired and then unretired and then unretired again. So I think you watered down what that retiring a person's jersey is. But what are your thoughts on Matt's comments, and do you feel he's right or wrong?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm sure people realize Matt Leinart is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of college football, having taken USC to 3 national titles, winning 2 of those. I think people are familiar with the loss we had to Texas in that epic Rose Bowl. When they retire your jersey, I think Matt took that serious. He takes that serious. Matt is a Trojan's Trojan. Again, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play at USC, definitely one of the greatest players to ever play at USC as well. It's his right. I would say, at USC, we have rich people problems, okay? So we've retired all the jerseys of our Heisman Trophy winners. We have 8 Heismans, okay? You only have 99 jerseys when you think about that, okay? And we have 8 Heismans, so that's 8 numbers retired. And, the reality is with these kids and their demands and the new day of player empowerment, they want to wear their number, and I get that. A lot of players, Carson Palmer's a guy who allowed his jersey to be worn. And in the event that, if that happened to me, I would probably let a kid wear it. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with Matt saying no, because especially now, these kids, they don't appreciate, the schools the way we did. We went to school in a day where when you chose that school, you were choosing your second family for life. It wasn't no go here for a year, then go here for a year, then go here for a year. That's that you stayed at that school. What Matt is saying is a lot of these kids don't have that same type of appreciation and love, so they'll wear his number 11 jersey, he'll okay it, it's a big deal, and then if they sit the bench or they get a bigger offer somewhere else, then they leave, and then it just makes the whole process of unretiring it less special, and it doesn't seem like the player really appreciated, what Matt did. So I understand what he's saying. I completely get it. I don't have a problem with it. It's his prerogative. He earned the right to have that jersey retired. That number 11 is his for life. For as long as USC's in existence, you gonna know that number 11 was Matt Leinart of USC, Heisman Trophy winner, first-round draft pick, 2-time champion, 3-time all-conference, all that. He has all the trophies and accolades you can get. So I get it, man. If I was a high school kid, I don't even know if I would have the gall to ask a Heisman Trophy winner. If I'm a 4- or 5-star athlete, I don't know if I would have, the kahunas to ask, a Matt Leinart of all people, hey, can I wear your jersey? I would tell a kid, why don't you go out there and ball first? Why don't you go out there and earn your stripes? Let Matt see your commitment to USC, and maybe in your senior year or, in your junior year, maybe he'll consider something like that. You know what I mean? But I completely understand his position. I have no problem with him taking his position. I may have said something different just to support the school and help those guys recruit, to be honest with you. But Matt is my Trojan brother. And I have nothing but love for him. He has the right to say no. I support his decision and the reasoning why. So yeah, I'm good with it, man. I get it. It's a new day, and a lot of these kids, I feel, just don't have the same level of love, appreciation, and attachment to the school. So I get it, man.
Ben, your thoughts on Matt's comments there?
I love it. I love the fact that Matt Leinart is saying, even to piggyback on what Marv said, who are you? Like, you want me to just let you wear my jersey just cause? No. As you mentioned, Willie Taggart, when he became the head coach of Florida State, I was at his first game when they played Virginia Tech. They retired Peter Warrick's jersey that day. They retired P-Dub's jersey. Getting your jersey retired is one of the greatest things you can do as an athlete, no matter what level, high school, college, pro, because that means that, dude, the way you have done this jersey so much justice that nobody deserves to wear it again. Abdul Carter, no, you don't get to wear 5'6", for the New York Football Giants, because the problem with some of these players is their parents, their friends and family have told them, man, you special, you different. We validate that stuff when you give them stuff they haven't earned yet. You want a jersey number? Go make your jersey famous. You want somebody to not be able to wear your jersey? Go do what Matt Leinart did at SC, and you might have a shot to get it retired. Number 88 for the Dallas Cowboys is prestigious. Drew Pearson, the playmaker. You talk about Dez. Now you see what CD is doing. I can appreciate something like that, but I'm gonna keep saying this. When I was in college, I'm in college this around the same time as I'm a couple of years older than Reggie Bush and Lindell White and Matt Leinart. We used to get them games on ABC. They made sure you saw these dudes. And Marv said he went to 3 national championships. He only played in natties. He didn't play in nothing else. Matt Leinart went to 3 straight national championships. And if Vince Young wasn't as great as he was, they win 3. So, Matt, I appreciate it, because let me tell you what Matt is really saying. Matt is doing this for everybody who got a retired jersey, because as soon as he says yes, I don't know if Reggie Bush jersey is retired. I don't know if O.J. Simpson's jersey is retired. I don't know if Caleb Williams' jersey is retired. He's going to open up the floodgates. Listen, we had 99. Well, that's 99 minus 9. Now they got 90 jerseys available that you can wear at SC. Deal with it. If they ain't retired them other 9, you can't just let these youngers come through and think, I'm a 5-star. It's a 5-star every year. Man, I'm the number 1 player in the country. It happens every year. But are we going to see you again, though? Yeah, you were the number 1 in high school. The last time you were the best player on the field is when you left your high school field. You go out there in college, we may never see you again. We may never hear from you again. So I appreciate Matt Leinart for saying, dude, Matt Leinart is really saying, do you know how hard I had to work to get this? To get to SC is 1. To perform like this is 2. And to have this type of legacy is 3. No. Sorry, youngin, whoever you are, because don't SC got the number 1 recruiting class in the country?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So think about this. So some kid is saying, I'm a part of number 1 recruit. I'm not. I guarantee you the kid went to Lincoln Riley and said, I want to get Matt. Like he said, well, you got to talk to Matt about that. What? You got to talk to Matt. Matt says no. But I thought, no. You're some random kid from Southern California. You good. You Keyshawn Johnson's nephew. Whatever. No. And I appreciate it, because to go to college football and leave any type of legacy is hard enough. To get on the field is hard. To you talking about winning Heisman's and Natties. If you play quarterback for SC, you ain't ducking no smoke, because you can't hide. You cannot hide if you nothing against UCLA, nothing against San Jose State, nothing against Cal and Fresno. That ain't SC. And they know that's not. And that's nothing against those other schools in that state. I'm starting quarterback for SC. I just won the Heisman. I don't win the 3 straight national championship. They're going to retire my jersey. I'm finna let a young man from, I don't know, Palo Alto wear my number 11. Hell no. I can't. Only because that's the whole purpose of. If it's gonna get unretired, his name need to be Matt Leinart Jr. I'll unretire for that. Oh, for my kid, yeah, he can wear it. But that's not Matt Leinart Jr. Right? Now, if that's Reggie Bush Jr., Lindell White Jr., Troy Polamalu Jr., that I might consider it, right? Because I played with their dads. Your dad went to school with them, dude. I went to, Fernando Mendoza, daddy went to school, right, with Mario Cristobal. No, you ain't coming to Miami. You see, it's different. So if it's a legacy, yes. And I don't mean to call the young man random. He's not random. You just the current 5-star. No, can't do it. Nah, because You go out there and you stinking up the joint. All they're gonna say is he's wearing Matt Lyon unretired. And look, love the college players. I'm never gonna talk trash about a college player because I know how hard it is. Because they semi-pros. They ain't pros yet. Pros are the pros. But now Matt, I appreciate it. And Matt is saying, look, I think Matt, wait a minute, if I'm not mistaken, this ain't getting to nobody's business now. But I believe that Matt Lyon's baby mama is the same lady that got children with Blake Griffin. I could be wrong now. I could be wrong.
No, you're not.
Okay. So the young, because I think she got, listen, and I'm not doing no TMZ stuff. I ain't trying to be messy. I think she's like a volleyball player from SC. So she got a baby from Matt. So if that young man, if it's a little boy, becomes whoever he becomes, and he wants to go to SC, number one, if Matt Lyon's son even go to SC, you talking about some big ones, boy. You got to have some big ones that want to come behind your daddy like that. But no, you can't do it. You can't do it.
One more college thing that I came across over the latest week, and I just found it really weird. So everyone loves Texas Tech, right? So apparently they have now banned weights in the weight room that are under 40 pounds. What kind of idiot stuff is this? Like, I get it. You're trying to build muscle, create some monsters down there in Texas Tech. But isn't this only going to be a detriment to some kid in that weight room at some point in time?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is when you're warming up, I mean, there are so many exercises like in rehab and just in getting warmed up where you're going to use lighter dumbbells. They're trying to build that dog mentality. I get it. They're trying to, get you to. They're trying to create that energy in that environment of we lift heavy. I get that too, and that's all good. I would hope this is more of a internet thing. Maybe that's a half truth and there's more to it. But I would say it's irresponsible and it's just crazy that you don't have dumbbells under 40 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that's I don't think that's real. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's real. I don't think that the head strength coach who, if you're the head strength coach of a major university, you got degrees, you got PhDs, you got a lot of training to be the head dude at Texas Tech. You're not just, Bubba, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to me. I don't, from a injury standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And Ben's going to 100% agree with me on that. There's no way you don't have anything less than 40 pounds, especially considering that you got freshmen coming in there who are $170 or $180. You know what I'm saying? 40 pounds is still a lot to these dudes. So
40
yeah,
pounds. No.
Yeah.
Think about this. Hold on. Wait a minute. When you go work out, what's the dumbbells you see? When you see from 40 down, they gone. You go to most weight rooms, they're gone. And it's not like the biggest misconception about weight is how much you lift. No. How many times can you lift it? If I do a max, I ain't doing it, but if somebody do a max of 500, that's one rep. Now, it was a crazy rep. Can you rep it out? Like keep repping. Number one, bigger than rehab. Not only is it irresponsible, it's idiotic. You're going to take, how many weights you're taking away? So like you mentioned, Marv, so what do we warm up with? Nobody on bodybuilders don't warm up with 40s. They won't warm up with no 40. And do you know how heavy a 20-pound dumbbell get, boy, when you done went through a long workout? See, the biggest misconception about them dumbbells is you think it got to be a lot of weight. Going to a weight room and watch somebody say, I'm gonna take the 25-pound weight and I'm gonna show you what it really do. What you mean? I'm squeezing at the top. I'm squeezing because 35 pounds and below, that's the weight you can control. You ain't moving your body all around. And here's the thing. Is Texas Tech winning national champions? Because they're not going to start a trend. See, you want to be a trendsetter, but you're going to have to go to I'm pretty sure they got a strength coach convention because there's conventions all the time for coaches. And they're going to say, why? Well, because you're not starting a trend. Because yes, you're going to be using higher weights as you go up.
Yep.
But that 100-pound weight, it barely moves. That 100-pound dumbbell, somebody picks it up. It's very rare. That 90-pound, it happens. 80 pounds, okay. Between 55 and down, they all. You got to find the joker. Hey man, who got the 20? Who got the 30? He's across the gym. He's over there doing. Look, sir, this is the problem with social media. This is the problem with wanting to go by. This is for what? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen though. You know how many people are gonna be watching the injuries for Texas Tech this year? They're gonna be looking to see. How many, because the goal is to get stronger. You can get stronger without having to lift a bunch of weight. Once again, them calisthenics dudes, them dudes that can do all them pull-ups and stuff, you know how strong they don't lift a bunch of weight. But dude, when it comes to strength, let me tell you something. Being able to get on a pull-up bar and you got your body straight, you know how hard that is. And them dudes I don't like it because the Texas Tech players don't get to say no. See, that's the part I don't like. I got to just go with it. And how is it? It's stupid as all get out. Oh, hold on, I got to call you back. He's walking. Imagine going in a weight room. Imagine going to Planet Fitness or LA.
You're basically taking half the weights from these kids. If you think about it, you're taking half of them away from them.
Hey, we started 40. For what? If I pay my membership, I want the 5 pound. I want the 10 pound. I want the 2.5 pound. Why? Because number one, how do I say this at my age? I ain't got nothing to prove in here. You think I'm finna be the dude in the weight room that got all the chalk all over his body, people slapping all in his back? Hey, bro, listen. If you got to do all that, bro. Let me say this: if you need a spot every time you get under the bench, you can't lift it. Help me get it up, dude. Is the bar bending? Yeah, man. I got 450. Sir, you work construction. Did you just get out of the hospital? Man. Sir, go back to the weights, man. I get it. Listen, I misquoted. I'm saying I want us to use the 40-pound weights more. What you mean we start at 40? What are y'all starting with? Yeah. What are you starting with? Yeah. What's the first rep? Hey, man, because here's the thing. You know how heavy it is to do dumbbell curls with 40s? Listen. A dumbbell curl. What? Y'all ain't doing 3 sets of 10 and y'all ain't controlling the weight. 3 sets of on Fridays when I was in college, we used to do, and also we do 3 sets of 10. Everything in there, 3 sets of 10. By the time you get to the end of that workout, you got them Marvin, you got the spaghetti arms. You have to do them. You have to do them skull crushes. Let me tell you something. That coach better be sitting there or your whole forehead gone. It's gone. 100%. I don't like it because these players think, hey man, the Texas Tech is Texas Tech beating Texas? Is Texas Tech beating Texas A&M? Is it beating Houston? Is it beating Rice? Is it beating TCU? You better, because just because you look the part, you better beat the part. And I know they got that defensive end coming out of Texas Tech, probably going to be the number 1 defensive end taken. They got Rodriguez. Hey, Rodriguez. I get it. That's 2 players. And I get it. Those guys going to be incredible. It just don't make any sense. You don't have to reinvent something as a strength coach. If you want to be known, let your team win. And when your team is winning, they're going to attribute it to the weight room. And if your team is losing, they're going to attribute it to the weight room. But if your team is getting injured over and over and over, because them muscles super tight, man, we'll see. Maybe he knows something I don't, but I've been around Rob Glass, checking my Rob Glass, went to Oklahoma State in college. He was at Florida for about 20 years. He had Danny Warfel, and he had this bum named Barry Sanders. So those are his Heisman Trophy guys that came under me, and Tim Tebow. So he knows what he's doing. But, hey, man, I wish the best. But this ain't going to last after 2026, though. 2027, they're going back to 35-pound weights and down because I don't get it. Even when you go to the gym, when I go to Planet Fitness, I see just regular people in there, working on their shoulders, I can tell they've had surgery or they're in some kind of rehab, right? And you see them doing this, and you see them, just doing all the different. Yes. There are many different reasons why you would use weights under 40, even if you were big, strong, 500 bench press type of lineman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It doesn't. It ain't no sucker stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dumbbells gonna humble you, but a dumbbell done right. I'm talking about a dumbbell workout. At the end, right? if you ain't mad at you, if you have a trainer, if you ain't looking at your trainer because you want to swing on him, he ain't a good trainer. And guess what? Them trainers, they ain't even trying to make you lift a bunch of weight. They trying to get you a bunch of reps. They be like, man, how many reps we gonna do? Don't worry. You don't want to see this list, brother. You don't want to see this. And so I'm with you, Marv. Hey, and shout out to Planet Fitness for changing the whole game when it comes to fitness. All these, I remember back in the day when it was $89 a month. Planet Fitness like for what? And y'all closed. Planet Fitness like $10 a month, and we got we got the massage. If you want to get the massage, you want to get the tan, and you can come here 24 hours a day. You know, hey, shout out. So everybody that was saying Planet Fitness they're gonna be out of business. No, they put people out of business. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. Shout out to them.
I thought it was ridiculous, and I think you guys hit some great points. Like I think we are going to be seeing who's injured and who's not, and Marvin hit it dead on it. What happens when you have a guy that is injured and is in the middle of rehab, and you're only sitting there saying you can only touch 40 and up? What are you doing? You trying to re-injure this kid? Like, come on! You try to be the 49ers of college football, having a laundry list of injuries year after year after. You're like, come on, stop playing with me. Love the mentality of it, but I just think it's silly all around. And speaking of silly, I came across this the other day. I seen the replay of this, and I was hemming and hawing because it is the funniest thing I've ever seen happen on a basketball court. I don't know if you guys seen the kid from the Thunder.
What? His
shoe came off during the game, and one of the Orlando Magic players was getting ready to shoot. So instead of just taking it, he winds up getting a technical foul called on him, and I believe he's been suspended for 10 games according to this graphic because he used said shoe to block the shot. I think that has to be the weirdest suspension I've seen on my time, following basketball since I was a young man, a teenager, things of that nature. We've seen some weird things on players being suspended from fights. All kinds of stuff. Using your shoe to block a shot. I'm going to start off with Marvin on this one and then go to Ben. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Well, first of all, if I was the coach, I would probably have a certain level of appreciation for a player who went all out, didn't make any excuses to make the play. And then from there, I'll create an argument. Look, I would just say, if I was Alex Caruso, I think that's who it was, the former Laker. I would say that the shoe is a part of the uniform. It's a part of what you have on going into the game. So if I have it on my foot or I have it on my hand, what would it matter? You know what I'm saying? It's part of what's accepted on my body. But nah, man, this was a guy probably going a little bit too hard, to be honest with you. And I get it. I'm not mad at him for that. I'm not mad at him, but it's a little bit unorthodox.
That's probably the most creative suspension we probably have ever seen.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, the dude's playing hard. You know what I'm saying? He has a no excuses mentality. Shoe came off the foot. We'll put it on the end of on the hand and use it like that. But that's different, man. I've seen a lot in 49 years. I haven't seen that. But like I said, if I was the coach, I would just have an appreciation for his effort.
Ben.
Yeah, yes, it's weird. I mean, most things, I don't even know if Adam Silver, I don't even know where does this even fall under? Is it code of conduct? What is it? But I can appreciate the effort as well. When you're in the heat of the moment and things happen, we find ourselves doing things in private that if people would have put a camera on, you're like, dude, what are you doing? It happened. It's creative as it get. Hopefully it's not now. Hopefully he ain't a repeat offender now. Now if he does it again, they're like, bro, keep your, tie your shoes a little tighter. But it happened. He got 10 games. Hopefully the team reimburse him some of them checks, man, because they take your money from you, man. So hopefully the team reimburses some of that money they taking from him. But yeah, that's about as creative as they get, Marvin, Steve. I ain't never that's one of those dudes. You ain't gonna believe this. What? And old dude he just blocked the shot like a shoe came off and picked it up. I'm still on defense. Try to get
Not tried to. He did. He blocked the shot with his shoe. It wasn't like he tried. He did. They teed him in the game, and then he got suspended after the game. I would definitely try to appeal the suspension in some way. At least get it reduced.
Yeah. Try to appeal it. That had to be a very, very interesting post-game press conference. Like, how do you feel about it?
I'm sure the media was like, "Yeah, listen, we need to talk to my man. We need."
The final score didn't even matter. Let's just go right to him. What is it? All right, so your shoe came off. You put it on your. Yes, my shoe came off. It was in my hand because I got to pick it up, and then he's still playing, so I'm still playing. So I was trying to. I blocked it, and I'm thinking they call blow the whistle. Let me put my shoe back on. No, you teed up. What? Yeah, bro. Like you tripping out here. Like I ain't never seen that on just like a regular court in the hood. Like you just all somewhere with your family at your house. Hey, now once again, we live in a viral world now.
Yep.
And people see stuff. If people start doing that, like if somebody come to the court with two shoes on and one on their hand, I want you to do me a favor. Go to your nearest Walgreens, CVS, get you some baby powder. Go back, put it on your hand, and slap. Come here, boy. Man, take it off your hand. We ain't doing that. Because we want to do everything these days. But I do agree, Marv. I'm never gonna get mad at a player for effort. And right. I'm gonna keep saying this: when you play a professional sport, whether it's baseball, hockey, football, basketball, we're not rap tight. And sometimes I kind of get to show you I'm not rap that tight. So people say football players are some of the most we mild-mannered people, but we ain't rap tight. You see what you do for a living? So, sir, hopefully you get some type of sponsorship for it. I don't know what type of sponsorship. I don't. But you got to find a way to flip that in your face. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Flip it in his favor. That'll be, come out with a glove that look like a shoe or something. I don't know. Because it's basketball. They don't wear no gloves. So I don't know. But it's crazy.
I got two more basketball topics, and then we're gonna go to some baseball and then back to some football. Over the last 2 weeks, everyone's been talking about Bam, right? And the criticism and stuff surrounding, Bam's 83-point game, calling it, awful, hideous, disgusting basketball, blatant stat chasing. These were the moments in the game that wasn't respected. Total, Craig Carton's total, poo show. Stephen A. Smith clearly chasing numbers that don't know how Kobe did it. It was ugly. It was gross. It was cheap. I've never seen a man be so hated because taking advantage of how the game is played today, right? Let's be honest. If the game isn't played the way it is today, that Bam isn't able to accomplish this, right? So my thing is why are we hating on this man to this level? He was drug tested after the game. The referees are being investigated after the game. So give me your thoughts on this one. Start with Ben, then go to Marvin.
Ooh, well, hate is real, ain't it? I mean, it's coming out, ain't it? Oozing out. No. Let's call it what it really is. They ain't mad he got 83. They mad it was Bam. See that it ain't the 83 because Kobe was celebrated, right? Oh my God, did you see that 81? Isn't defense in the NBA atrocious across the league? The whole league is atrocious, right? Sometimes it takes a game to prove just how atrocious it is. So you telling me if Steph would have got 83, they would have went crazy like this? No. If I don't know, if Wembanyama would have got 83, you think they would have went? No. What about Jokic? No. Bam is not one of the faces of the NBA, right? He's not one of the faces of it. And I get so sick. People say he just chasing stats. Isn't that what you're doing every game in basketball? And I'm trying to pad my stats every game. I'm trying to get a triple-double or a double-double. I'm trying to lead the NBA gets on my nerves with this kind of stuff. Robert Horry of all Robert Horry. Big shot Robert Horry got something to say. The greatest role player in basketball. I love Robert. I think got like 7 rings. No one thought that Bam would be the second all-time scorer in a game behind Will. then Kobe. We need to stop this. It ain't Bam fault. When you gonna start? So he gets 70 points. Then you want to start doubling? That's the most egregious part. It took him getting 70. He shot 40-something free. Dude, my goodness. His lady Aja was in the Asia was in the stands. I'm happy for Bam because NBA, NFL, you're gonna be forgotten. I got a chance to have a moment like this, Steve, Marv. If we play professional basketball, if you don't go for it, there's something wrong with you. If you're not trying to get 83, that's the problem. Because when we get to saying, hey, man, I don't like it when that's like a player. I think Jamal Lewis one time had like 295 yards in a game and they took him out. Why? He get a chance to rush for 3 bills. So I get the 2. Hey, that's enough. Saquon Barkley get to break his record. Hey, man, now we're going to take you out. That's nonsense. Because when you look back on it, when you get older, you're not going to be something happy I let them young guys get in. Do I get a chance? I get a chance to be in the NBA record books for life? Man, every time. And if you don't like it, it's because you ain't me and you really don't like it, right? Because you a hater. Straight up and down. I don't want to. I get so sick of this. Oh, man, the game. They got to respect the game. They got to. What about that quarterback that had 450 yards passing, but they lost by 20? He still had 450, right? They lost by. Those are garbage stats, but it goes to the stat sheet, doesn't it? Bam scored 83 points. And guess what? Like it or don't like it, he's in the record books for like. And we got to see Kobe. We got to see Bam. Most people didn't get to see Wilt score 100. 83 points. I mean, that's the days.
I think they're just mad because 43 of them came at the free throw line. I'm like, what? I'm like, how do you think Wilt got there? How do you think Wilt got there?
He can shoot. If Shaq would have went to the 3, Shaq would have shot 43 free throws. How many he gonna hit? How many Dwight Howard gonna hit? How many Dennis Rodman? Bam! Congratulations. I knew the hate was gonna come. Now I said, that ain't Steph, that ain't LeBron, that ain't Luka, right? That ain't Ant-Man. That ain't SJ. The NBA, and not the NBA itself, but these analysts and all that. Steven, they gonna always have something to say. Screaming, they gonna always have something to say. But like Reggie Miller said, all you had to do was stop him. Yep. All you had to do. I'm putting 3 on him. I'm doing. That's what I mean when I say common sense is gone in sports. Hold on. If we had to wreck, let's just take it away from NBA. We had to wreck. Me, Mom, Steve, we got 2 other guys we had to wreck. We got this guy going crazy at a circle. Whoa. We got to do something because he is the problem. We finna triple him, foul him, do something. Get him out of his game. I'm going to say this right now. My daddy would not be able to deal with me if I let a man – 83 points. I'm going to do something. I don't know how he got to 70 points and they finally doubled him. But congratulations to Bam, man. Like, I don't like when people do that. Oh, man, the game is all – like to say, Bam is in the NBA, right? He is a starter. He's one of 5 starters out of 30 teams in the NBA. So he's pretty freaking good. He was on the USA Dream team. Olympic team. So he's good enough to do that too. His lady just happens to be the best women's basketball player on planet Earth. He's saying, girl, I got sick of you talking about all your freaking WNBA championships and MVP. I gotta have something. So that 83, congratulations to him. I'm never gonna be the one. I'm never gonna say Alvin Kamara scored 6, 7 touchdowns in a game. They should have took him out. Man, stop. You know how hard it is to do this. This is the top of the top. I tell you what, work on defense. Because Jalen Rose was on that Raptors team that gave up 81 to Kobe because they had a freaking commercial about it. So, Bam, congratulations. Wish you would have got 85. 83 points, though. God, man, you look at the stat sheet. If somebody watched the game, they said, is this right? They say Bam had 83 points last night. He had 83 points. That's crazy. 80. Then, second thing is, who was he playing against? So to the team the guys he was playing against, y'all got to live with that for life. So when people say, y'all remember, so in college, when I was in college, this dude named Greg Jones. He played for Florida State. Huge running back, like ripped up. He played against North Carolina. He was running. Y'all should go to YouTube and watch this. he was running on the sideline. He hit a dude so hard with his forearm that he hit another defender. He knocked both of them out, right? His name was, I love Dex. His name was Dexter Reed. Check this out. We working out in New Orleans. And, we getting ready for the draft. There go Greg Jones from Florida State. There go Peter Bulware, Michael Bulware. You remember Michael Bulware, Marv, that went to Florida State? His little brother, I played with his brother, Mike. Peter Bulware was the one to play for the Ravens. We all in there working out. All of a sudden, this dude come in. He sit down with his agent. We eating. He said, "What's up, man? Tell everybody." He say, "What's your name, man?" "Oh, my name Dexter." "Dexter what?" "Dexter Reed." "Oh, okay. What position you play?" "DB." He says, "DB where at?" "UNC." "Oh, you went to North Carolina." "Oh, okay." He say, "Dexter Reed." "Dexter Reed that went to North Carolina. You played against Greg Jones?" "Yeah, I'm the one that got hit." Check this out, Steve. Check this out, Marv. He go, "You the one that got hit by Greg Jones?" He goes, "Yeah." He go, "There go Greg right there." Greg was in the restaurant eating, and he didn't see him. And we was like, "Hey, we don't want no trouble." So, hey, sometimes you the hammer, sometimes you the nail. If I gave up 83, I don't want to hear anything about defense. I don't care who you are, Ben Wallace's son, Dennis Rodman nephew, shut up. You gave up 80, and it was a team effort. You gave up 83. His name is Bam, and I'm not talking about Bam Rubble. I think his name was Bam Bam on freaking Flintstones. His name was Bam Bam, right? So, yeah, I love it. Listen, I'm going to say this. I wish it was me. If I score 83 points, you can't tell me nothing. I don't care what. How many championships you got? 83. How many All-NBAs you got? 83. 83. Did they have to send his jersey to the Hall of Fame? Don't they do that? You do something like that to send your jersey to the Hall of Fame?
They do that mostly in football. I don't know how often they do it in basketball.
Your son plays football. If your son had 7 touchdowns in a game, no matter what the other parents say, you're going to look at them and say, "Get on my level. My son had 7. What your son do?" Because that's what we do, right? What did your son do? So all I'm saying is, for life, that man scored 83 points in an NBA. If I scored 60 points in a high school game, I'm not going to let you forget it. He scored 83 in the NBA. God, what, more than Kobe? Man, stop playing.
What are your thoughts, Marvin?
Listen, with success comes hate. With success comes jealousy. They're attached. It's a package deal. Mm-hmm. That's what we should know by now. When you do something that's spectacular, something that's different, something that's unique, you're going to have a lot of people who appreciate it. Then you're also going to have a lot of people who feel some kind of way. They jealous, they mad, they hate, whatever. You know what I'm saying? People talking about, listen, I'm a Kobe Bryant fan as well. Got nothing but love for Kobe, okay? Rest in peace to one of the greatest professional athletes to ever be on this earth. And they act like Stephen A. Smith said, Kobe didn't do it like that. He was saying that Kobe's his 81 was earned, in a more respectful way. Them Lakers was giving Kobe the ball every play. Every single play, it was give the ball to Kobe. Literally. Okay? The defense that he was playing against, them dudes was stepping back to a degree. They was letting it happen because it was Kobe. He's the end of his career. And I don't know how people forget that. And I'm not knocking Kobe. I'm not knocking his accomplishment. But we praised him for that effort, okay, for what he did. Bam didn't do any of this for stats. He was playing the game at the Pat Riley standard, the Heat standard. He was just going hard, period. So if the Wizards played him hard, if they played him soft, he kept the standard. You know what I'm saying? So, and when there was opportunity to score, he scored. He was playing competitive basketball even when the Wizards was laying down. And they wasn't laying down to let him do this. Their standard of basketball was very low, okay? And his is high. And he didn't turn off the switch. And in that situation, he scored 83. And like Ben said, people really not respecting the fact that he hit all these free throws. You know how many big men, as Ben said, in the league wouldn't have hit 25% of those free throws? Shaquille O'Neal and these guys would never have been at 83 in that situation because they would have missed the majority of the free throws. Thanks. Why aren't we appreciating the skill of being at that line and hitting the free throw? It's really the people's ability to hate and to come up with narratives to hate. It just speaks a lot about how they live in their mindset. To be honest with you, man, this dude went out there like it was any other game to play hard and do his thing. And he took advantage of opportunities. You know, when the Wizards laid back and played soft, he didn't play soft. He kept the standard to standard. He was a pro through it all. And I'll tell you this, Pat Riley loves the fact that he did that. Eric Spoelstra loves the fact that he did that. So, like I said, this is just, this comes, excuse me, hate comes with success, man. Jealousy comes with success. It is a package deal, and I'm certain of this. Bam don't care about none of this. Bam been in the league for so long. This dude got humble beginnings. He got age. He got the right people around him. He ain't thinking about that hate, man. He on to the
that's
next.
the thing I like about, like, we see BS on the fan in the end, we call BS. And once I seen that graphic and then see what was going on with that, I actually we absolutely had to bring that up today. Next one is something we were talking about, the potential of there being a strike, a lockout, etc. for the WNBA, and that's no longer a thing. They actually reached a deal with have a CBA in place in the first time in league history. Their salary system, revenue growth, all expected to be in the $1 million area, which is where a lot of them felt like they deserve to be with the growth of what the WNBA is. Ben, let's start with you on this one. No strike, CBA in place. We are going to have the WNBA here in the coming months.
The WNBA did a really, really good job of putting pressure on the players to say, look, we hear you guys. We understand that the game is growing. But if you guys really want to play, let's talk business. Because the one thing that players at all professional levels, male and female, don't do well is at the negotiating table. We negotiate with feelings. That's not going to get it done. You got to come in there with cold, hard facts. You got to be able to say, hey, give us some measurables you guys can actually meet. I don't want to hear what you talk about around your dinner table, because when we go to the return on investment, when we go to the revenue, it's got to make sense. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to invest in a losing product. It got to be winning, and it is winning, but it got to keep winning now. See, what these players don't realize is this. Okay, we guys. In negotiations, you're not gonna get everything you want. You're gonna be able to say, "I'm good with this." Can we walk away? Can both sides walk away? Well, attendance. It got to keep picking up. The game is the game. The viewership got to keep going up. The attendance got to keep going up. The growth of the game got to keep happening. But having certain stars in the game does help. Having certain players in the game does help. Aja Wilson is the best women's basketball player on planet Earth, right? You look at what they're doing. I mean, you talk about Breonna Stewart, right? You got some really, really good. I mean, before you even get to Caitlin Clark, and those are the newcomers of the league. With the WNBA reaching agreement, that shows that they were serious about getting a deal done, but they realized real fast, just because what perception is not reality. What we think it is one thing. When them doors close, all right, tell us why you want this. Tell us why y'all want all these things. And don't give me the stuff that sound good, because that go our stat guy. He's just looking at them numbers. He don't even watch the games. He watched them numbers come in, and they got it done. And I'm being a former player now and understanding how powerful these players' associations are. So you don't really understand it until you're away from the game. But when you have that leverage, they're using their leverage, and hopefully they didn't. Hopefully these WNBA current players got a negotiation for the current players and the former player. Because sometimes you talk about the benefits for the former as well as the current benefits for the current players, but they got it done. And for everything they had to say about, the ownership and the decision makers of the WNBA, they did get it done. Because if you are the PA president, if you are a PA rep, your rep is on the line, because you are speaking for all your teammates when you're in these rooms. So I know we clapping, but before the clapping is over, they're gonna say, all right, let me tell you what we had to, because to get something, you got to give something up. Okay, if you want this, you got to take away that. If you the salary cap for the NFL is going up, but you also they trying to get to an 18th game too. That's coming sooner rather than later. So I'm happy for these ladies. I think they're doing a really, really good job. I think as guys, we need to make sure we always pushing that. You know, being a girl dad myself, and my daughter plays basketball. You know, that's going to be her sport. And she's always talking about how she want to go play for South Carolina. And, you know, she like, Dad, she's, you know, and I be telling her, listen, don't compare yourself to the guys. Just go out there and hoop. You know, just go out there and hoop. I said, she's talking about, well, guys get to dunk. I said, well, sweetie, to be quite honest with you, if they couldn't dunk, it would be boring. If guys couldn't dunk, because a lot of them can't dunk. Dwight Howard, from Swainsboro, Georgia, just like me. That man made it to the NBA. He made it to the Hall of Fame, and he couldn't shoot. That's always been like, how is that even? But he was a beast in Orlando, though. I ain't taking that away from him. So yeah, I am happy for these players, and now it's time to get to work. All right, the negotiations out the way. Ain't gonna be no holdouts. Ain't gonna be no strikes. Cause let me tell you something. The WNBA couldn't afford no strike.
Nope, we already talked about that.
You couldn't afford, because the have-gots are this much in the WNBA. The have-nots is this big. So all that love for the game, like, man, where you going? Why you got that Publix vest on? I gotta go to work. I got bills. While we sitting there waiting, so they got it done. No check's gonna be altered, because what Marv? What are we? What? We about what? 4 more years away from the NFL having to go back to the negotiating table, and that is going to be interesting, because in the history of negotiations, you have never seen one as long as NFL. We had one for 10 years. That is unprecedented. A 10-year CBA. So 10 years, them owners like, they agreed to 10 years. Sign it right now. So we going back to the table, but hopefully these players will, you know, they'll do right by. They'll, you know, and I'm happy for them. But now it's time to go to work, man. All negotiations are off the table. You ain't get everything you wanted, but you did get some of what you wanted. You got more money, because I think the WNBA players, a lot of them have to go overseas when they have a full. They play the season, go overseas, play, and come back. I think with something like this, maybe they could focus more on just, you know, being moms and living their lives, wives, or whatever they want to do in the off season. Like, have a real off season instead of packing up and going overseas, trying to continue to generate revenue. So I am happy for them.
What are your thoughts, Marvin?
Yeah, you know, I remember, you know, when they first came out with the idea of like, pay us what you owe us, right? And my thought was, this is still relatively a new league, you know, when you really think about it, and especially in regards to, you know, it having star power and all that stuff, and you know, a lot of, like, you know, UFC. I mean, they weren't profitable, you know, for so many years. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of these WNBA players were looking across the pro sports landscape and looking at all these salaries and all this money, talking about, you know, we need to get that. I think a lot of these women didn't understand the business side of it, and how, you know, your salary is going to be based on the money that we're making. And I don't think they were making that much money. You know what I'm saying? So that was really their issue. I think they're just a growing sport still. You know, I think, you know, Caitlin Clark has a lot to do with why people even watch WNBA or even started. At least that was the case for me. I was always into women's sports. College basketball in the WNBA wasn't really my thing, but ESPN did such a phenomenal job of showcasing her, highlighting her, making you watch it, making you be interested, right? And I think I wasn't the only one who was impacted like that. So, you know, I'm happy that they were able to come to some type of agreement. Ben is right. They couldn't deal with no strike. I mean, their organization isn't up there financially. So both sides really needed to bend a little bit. And, you know, I'm happy that they came to an agreement, because the WNBA right now is catching on. It is. You know, it has a long way to go before it's the NBA. It has a long way to go before it's anything like the NBA or any of the other sports. Right now, it's probably the most watched pro women's sports in America. But again, they're not generating the revenue to warrant, you know, what some of these ladies were asking for and what you were hearing. So I'm just happy, you know, that they're going to play basketball. There won't be any type of discontinuation. And the women did get a significant bump, if you ask me. Yeah. I saw some of the numbers that, you know, compared to what it was last year, this is growth. This is a good thing. So I'm happy that they agreed to terms, and I'm happy that we'll be able to watch, you know, so the stars that they have, because they do have a lot of young budding stars. They do. So the future is bright for the WNBA for sure. And again, I'm just happy that they were able to get the deal done.
Yeah, a couple things I'm gonna touch on there. Me and Ben both adamantly said this, when we first started hearing about this, that the strike wasn't anything that should have ever gotten to the point that even if you only do like a 2 or 3 year CBA and come back to the table in a few years, would have been the smart move as it was anyways. And I'm glad you mentioned the UFC, because look at what women's MMA is in the UFC, right? After Ronda Rousey is left and all these. Who's paying attention to the women in the UFC right now? There's not a whole lot of them. So you need to take advantage of it while the iron's hot, which is what I believe they are doing here. But you have to continue to develop those stars and superstars that you have within your sport. If you went to a potential strike, could have been catastrophic for the league as a whole. So I reiterate the fact, glad they got it done. Continue to grow, continue to do your thing, continue to invest in your young budding stars on top of the superstars that are already in your league. And hopefully, they can come back to the table in a few years and said, well, I want more than $1 million. We want $10 million to be our cap for our elite level basketball players. But that's something, as we said, you have to show us it. You have to show us the numbers that say that you've earned this. It can't just be like, I want and here's a blank check, fill it out for me. So I think they're on the right path. I hope they continue to grow on the right path. We will see what the future holds for them. We were already talking about CBA and things like that for the NFL. I don't know if you guys seen this week. You guys officially have a new NFLPA executive director. There was a statement made, about JC being coming in times in life where know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. That's where I am today. Grateful for the trust my fellow players have placed in me. I'm going to reward them with my fullest commitment to these players. Chart up a new course union. My sole goal is to build up the strength of the NFLPA. I understand the responsibility that comes with this role. Important to stand shoulder to shoulder with player and leadership. The union has always played a critical role in shaping the game, and that work is important now as than ever. The NFLPA needs leadership that listens, leads with integrity, and puts its players first every day, and that's exactly how I plan to lead. Marvin, you are obviously going to be my first choice to lead off on this, as you are a very active member in your charter for the NFLPA. What are your thoughts on this hiring? What do you think that he brings to the table that previous leadership did?
Okay, well, yes, I am the secretary for the NFLPA's Atlanta chapter. We're the biggest chapter of all of them, with over 2,000 former players living in Georgia. And I got into this because my father inspired me, as he was the president of the Players Association, leading into what became free agency for the players, plus benefits. That's what he fought for. He was there in the '87 strike. He was a guy who was offered $1 million under the table by the owners to get the players to sign a bad deal. In the '80s, $1 million is a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? He turned that down, obviously, for justified reasons, just being righteous in what he did. There is so I'm in a group chat with some other members of the PA executive team here in Atlanta, and I'll be honest with you, there is not a lot of optimism or happy people, to be honest with you. I think the biggest issue here, and the biggest issue is he's attached to the old regime that was in question, and I think people really wondered if this was a sweetheart deal between him and the NFL. I think there are people out there who think that he's not looking out for the players as much as he is the NFL. I think there are people out there who believe that his best interests are not in the players. Now, he's a former player, which is great. But at the end of the day, this is an integrity deal. This is something where, you got 1,700 men in the NFL and many other former players, obviously. And we need somebody out there who's going to put the players first, who has a player's best interest at heart. And there are many people who just question, his position. And again, primarily because he was attached to the prior regime. So, and Ben said, we have a new CBA coming up. There's going to be a lot of things on the table. You just want to have someone that really understands the history, of these CBA moments. Someone who understands, what the current and former players are looking for, and someone who isn't going to get in bed with the NFL and try to get the players to agree to something that's not in their best interest. So, for me, this is really a wait and see situation. I think, history is the best indicator of the future in many cases. So with that, there were a lot of people who were shocked, and I don't want to, in spite of what my tone may be like, what may seem like, I want to go into this with optimism, to be honest with you, but I question what it's going to look like moving forward. I hope that it's a situation where he's not in bed with these owners, because the owners, this is a group that, listen, they collude for a lot of things. You've only heard collusion with a few things recently. That's the norm. They've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to get at NFLPA reps and slide them bread under the table and get them to agree to stuff that's not good for the players. You know what I'm saying? And I know that firsthand because they tried to do it with my dad back in the 80s. So, Jay-Z's attached to, I forgot the other brother's name. I think it was Lloyd. He's attached to somebody else who,
Lord,
again, that player's question. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know how it really came to be that JC was the leader, but I just pray for the men who get on that field and sacrifice their lives literally for this game, for a living. I just pray that this guy understands who he works for, and that he's making decisions that are the best for the players. That's how I look at this thing right now. For me, it's really wait and see. But there are many players who are in the know that aren't comfortable with this selection.
Clip it. Ben, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, when J.C. Tretter got announced that he was going to be, president of it, I'm like, Marv, how did this come about? J.C. Tretter resigned before. He was attached to Lord Howe and the type of things they was doing, and it goes to let you know that it's almost like nothing ever happens. These guys get in trouble for all this stuff, and it's brushed under the rug immediately. It's like it never happened. And all I'm gonna keep saying is I don't want to make this, a color thing. But these dudes, they do all this craziness, and that's who you got at the helm. If JC done made, a full turnaround, because say what you want about DeMaurice Smith, and I know he was an outsider, he was a fighter though. Like, look, I'm not. If you ever read DeMaurice Smith book Turf Wars, just look at how he's talking about these owners in here. How they don't care? These dudes are savages. You notice you never see a picture with DeMaurice Smith standing with Roger Goodell. Like, that ain't my friend, dude. We ain't buddies. That's my opponent right there. That's the owners right there. And he said, and Roger Goodell will go out there and smile and say all these things. He said, man, they coming for blood. They trying to. I guarantee you when we go back to the negotiating table, I guarantee you these owners want to get another 10-year deal, maybe a 15-year. And y'all did it before. JC said the right things. I'm going to go to bat for these players. Yeah, but your track record says something different. And he's going to have to prove the two fronts. Current players, retired players. Because that's who he's going to bat for, especially the retired. Because a lot of these players in the NFL now, because everything is good and they getting this big money, and a lot of these guys, they're about to retire either voluntarily or involuntarily, and they're gonna really see what the NFL can look like when you no longer out there making money for these owners. It can get ugly because the two things that the NFL has that players don't is patience and time. Boy, you got to have a lot of patience when you're dealing with it. And they're going to use time against you and hopefully on their side. So if JC can do – I'm doing my best to be optimistic as well. But, as you can see, I wear glasses, so I make sure I can see what I'm seeing. JC does not have a good history at all. Lord Howe really showed – because Lord Howe comes in, this dude was doing all kind of stuff, and come to find out JC was doing some of it too. And you know how it is. If I have a track record, of putting my hands on women and I got a show called, Stop Hitting Women, I hope people are going to say, well, you probably not the right spokesman for this. I'm not saying you that now, but JC's track record is awful. Forget Lord Howell. It wasn't good before Howell came. He still wasn't doing the right things. And I think the thing about JC now, hopefully he reaches out to DeMaurice Smith and say, dude, can you help me? Because being a former player only helps you when you're trying to get opportunities away from football. You got to sit down with Roger Goodell and these $1 million lawyers or whoever they got as reps to go up against Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft and them, Stephen Ross, they don't play. So if JC is ready to play hard, I'm going to say this, dude, he owes it to these players. He really, really does. But if as soon as, if JC is out there taking pictures with Roger Goodell and smiling, that's not good. Imagery is everything. Please don't do that. Because they're going to eat him for lunch, man. And DeMaurice Smith was there for about 15 years. He was there a long time. But he said he just got sick of it, man. So if JC is ready to I don't need him to play fair or play nice. Come at they next, because they finna come at our next, especially the former players. They trying to cut everything they can. They don't want to have they don't want to have nothing, chapters, nothing outside of an alumni game, and they don't want to do that. So if JC is ready to play hardball, I'm with it, but he gonna have to prove it, and he gonna have to keep proving it, because listen, you're gonna watch JC Traylor's position no matter what. DeMaurice Smith was under way more scrutiny because he never played, so people was thinking, who is this dude? Then you look at what he did. Hey man, that's what I did. I used to go up against big corporations, man. Like I'm sitting across from big wigs a long time. JC Traylor, it's cool that he's a former player, but he hasn't shown he got the player's best interest in mind. If he's taking on a new league, I'm gonna be willing to give him that. But Marv, I'm just like you. He gonna have to prove it. We gonna be watching him like I'm trying to. And let me say this: it's not that we gonna be watching JC if he didn't have the track record. We still gonna be watching him, because to oversee all the players, you think you got pressure. I'm overseeing all of them, even former ones and future ones. I wouldn't want that position, only because I'm not going to get everything I want for the players. But as long as he know, hey, man, the players ain't giving back nothing we already got now. That negotiations start where we are moving forward, hopefully. But I've only been to negotiation when I was a player, and I got to sit in some of these meetings, and they'll talk about you like you ain't even sitting there. I'm like, are y'all talking about me? Yeah, because, you 21, 22. JC is, he a fully grown man. He knows how it goes. And if you're not improving the life and livelihood and benefits of the current, former, and future players, get the hell on, man. For real. Because ain't nobody got time. And Marv, you closer to it than me. It's just the fact that I'm gonna say this, Marv. If you or I was in his position before, and we did what he did, what is the likelihood of my name coming up again to get this position? That's all I'm saying, is because did he not do that? I was reading so much stuff with him and Lord Howe, I just stopped reading. I said, what? They doing what? For real?
He's like mini.
Lloyd was letting them owners get by and not calling them out. He was basically giving them a pass to collude. But listen, this is another way to look at it, right? So you know how with inflation, over time, salaries go up, money goes up. In '87, my dad was the highest paid lineman in the NFL at about $500,000, right? And they offered him $1 million. What are they now? The highest paid lineman makes about $30 million. Yeah. If they offered my dad $1 million in the '80s, what are these owners offering JC and Lloyd in 2026? What kind of money are they
about 50? About 50.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's real.
And mind you, yeah. But you said something right there, Marv. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Because DeMaurice Smith, if he came from a cutthroat, industry before he got to the league, he like, look, man. I'm dealing with Jerry Jones and them friends, the guys that they own these businesses. I'm dealing with them. So I knew, because sometimes the one thing players never do, we'll go to agent boot camp, broadcast boot camp, referee boot camp. We never go to negotiation boot camp. The NFL don't provide that. I don't want you to know how deals are done. When you gotta put your suit on and you know you in the high-rise boardroom, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, do water supposed to taste better when they pour it out of a pitcher in a clear glass? That's water, man. You could have brought me a bottle of water. I don't care. Do I know? And I think that's the thing about JC is like, look, dude, don't play nice. Jerry Jones want to have a private meeting with you? Hell no. What do you want to have a private meeting with you for? So yeah, I never thought about it like that, Marv, saying, hey man, what's $100 million to JC, man, to get him? Hey, JC, come on, man. What about Mrs. JC? And it's like, cause like I said, I don't even know how we negotiated the last CPA. I mean, I know we was gonna have a fake strike, and then it didn't last that long because they was able to get the deal done. I just hope JC stay close to the vest, and when I say close, I'm talking about to his side, cause. Hey, where you headed? Jerry Jones just sent a private jet to go ahead. Don't get on that jet, boy. Don't do it. Because, and mind you, yes, it's easy for me to say these things because I'm not in that position. But when I got drafted, I got the same. I can have my agent right now. And it's something that he said to me. He said, if they're going to cheat you to get you, they're going to cheat you after they get you because that's how they got you. And to this day, I look at it like, he said, bro, he said, you ever had somebody have a side meeting? Like, you know how you walk down the hall? Hey, man, let me talk to you for a second. They point you, say, what the hell you want? The meeting's in there. No, let me talk to you before we get to the meeting. Everything you can say right here, you can say in there. Because I can't validate if it's just you and me. But in that room with it's 10 other people in there. And I hope JC don't do no side stuff, man, because if somebody would have told me being a former player, you got to fight the NFL like this, I would have appreciated my PA members more because I didn't really understand what they did, Marv, when I played. Outside of them dues checks, them meeting that give you that check for paying them dues, I didn't really know. So I want to apologize to them dudes because our player reps, I didn't know they was fighting like this. I didn't know because I'm trying to, I got Michael Strahan this weekend. I got Jason Taylor next weekend. They're gonna show Apollo. So I'm thinking about that, and they would come in there and say, dudes, y'all have no idea, man. Football to these owners is so secondary. We are so expendable. What? Bruh, listen to me. If you hear the way they talk about us, and they talk in broad day, like ain't no cameras. Like, I can hear you. I don't care what you can hear. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? I don't think Patrick Mahomes that good. He all right. What? Tom Brady. He said they'll say this in real time. Then go out there and say, man, I love Tom Brady. Like, did you see that? Be cold switching like a mug, like right in your face. Go listen. As soon as the cameras go out there, they do that time like this. I love Dak Prescott, but you just told me he's a bum. I'm telling. So hey, I hope to
Steve, let me add this side part to this. So in '87, when my dad was a president and they went on strike, John Gotti was running New York. Okay, during the strike, we had a black tinted Lincoln Town Car outside of our house throughout the duration of the strike because people wasn't betting money. And Gotti and them boys, they make money off the gambling. You know what I'm saying? So in addition to my dad turning down the $1 million from the NFL, he had to deal with the mob being parked outside of our house, trying to intimidate him to give in. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be a real dude to stand up for these players, and you got to be able to really walk that walk. Because when there's that much money at stake, people talking serious things and they doing serious things. You know what I'm saying? And again with JC, man, I just hope he really understands the legacy of that position. If he's already sold us out, it's too late. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm about to say we hope he. Hold on, Marv. Yeah. Wait. Marv, has anybody ever done any type of like documentary on you and your dad?
Nah.
The only reason why I'm asking, wait a minute. You ain't gonna just John Gotti Got somebody outside y'all crib?
Yeah.
And your dad, hold on. Do you know how smart your dad is to look out the window and say, I knew it? Because most people, they're going to be like, who the hell is that? Your dad like.
He had all the blinds closed. I didn't know why.
Listen,
I didn't know why.
Listen.
You told me this years later. I remember the car, but I didn't put two and two together.
This needs NFL Films, Netflix, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's but and you just said it like, yeah, man, John Gotti has some people outside our crib because of my pops. You wanted to what?
Yeah.
So if you ever wanted to know how popular the league really is and how much money it's generating from bets, and that's in the what they say, that's back in the 80s, baby. Dude, that's 30-something. Man, listen to me. Listen. Marv, yes. Oh, hashtag, you know what I'm saying? Marvin Powell for the Hall of Fame. We gotta do that every show. Hashtag Marvin Powell for the Hall of Fame, and we're gonna keep yelling it to the moon. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start interviewing two people: former lineman that played with your dad and D lineman that went up against your dad, and say, Marvin Powell, hell yeah. They're gonna say, wait a minute, Marvin Powell ain't in there yet? Watch how many people say that. He ain't in there. Marvin Powell, that's crazy, right? Remember we were talking about SC greats? Matt Leinart earlier and Reggie Bush. Where do you think they put Marvin Powell at? Hello. What do you think every old lineman come through there saying? All people. So now y'all gonna have a documentary. Most people don't want to see, man, what? He's outside. Man, that's boy, yeah. It's we're gonna have to get that on the screen, Marv. And I can just see you saying, and Marv, save the rest for when they pay for it. Because I know you got that. Oh, it's way deeper than that, bro. I got some stuff. My daddy told your daddy waited until your young mind could handle it to say, son, let me tell you what I was really dealing with. What?
Yeah.
John, most people think John Gotti was a mythical character in New York. No.
They was at the crib. Every day.
Crazy.
Every day.
Ben ain't wrong. You need someone needs to sit down with you and your family and get a Netflix special going. Do something.
Make sure they get both. Make sure they get it. You know what I'm saying? So SC, New York, and then they're gonna say, "Hey man, that's a nice Lincoln outside." I ain't got no Lincoln though. What? I ain't got no Lincoln Continental with the suicide doors. That is not mine.
And
who is that?
Now, on top of JC, I did our good friend Ben. He was brought in as Minnesota's chapter, elected advisory member. The Atlanta chapter, Bobby Howard, and then re-elected was David for the Orange County chapter.
Yeah,
I seen Ben's post. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago that made a nice lengthy post about his appointment. What are your thoughts, Marvin? Like obviously, there's some good people there, right?
Yeah. So Bobby Howard is the president of the Atlanta chapter now. I serve under Bobby. Bobby is an amazing leader, great guy, brother, former player. Him and my dad were actually teammates. And he told me how my dad gave him some advice that led to Bobby making some more money during his negotiation. But yeah, Bobby's a great guy, man. Bobby's an example of somebody who's in it for the right reasons. Bobby's an example of somebody who was there. He knows where the dead bodies are. You know what I'm saying? Like he was there in the beginning. No, really. He was there in the beginning. He's one of the founding members of our Atlanta chapter, which is the deepest chapter, I believe, and the premier chapter in the league, just based upon the leadership that we have. But Bobby has served many roles with the Atlanta chapter. He obviously is connected to D.C. and Washington, where the PA is headquartered. And, he's an example of the type of the caliber of men that we need talking on behalf of the players, representing the players. I deal with him, on a weekly basis. I see him, on a monthly basis. And, his story, his presence, his message, his energy has always been consistent. He's here to help these men. He's here to push this positive agenda. And, he does an outstanding job. So when I first saw that on social, because that's how I first heard about it, I was happy because I the other two guys, I can't speak on them. I don't know them like that. But Bobby Howard is somebody who I 100% would vouch for, and I'm happy he has a role as an advisor in DC.
Yeah, well, as soon as I seen the graphic and seen the names on there, I knew I could get your comments on that. Now, me and Ben interviewed Ben Williams about a year ago. I think should be right about a year ago the last time we talked to Ben, and we talked about so many things during that interview, and like I think Ben is truly one of these guys that does whatever he can for players, gets people involved, things of that nature. So I know you particularly can't speak to him. Me and Ben only spoke to Ben Williams that the one time when we had him here on the podcast. It was a good interview, and he was even doing the same things you're doing, trying to get our Ben Troupe up there a little bit more involved in some of the stuff, get him to some speaking engagement, stuff like that. So it
was dope. It was man. It's how cool is that though for you though, Marv? Like, how much does Bobby talk about your pops, man? Like yeah, because he played with him. And how much do you hear this, man? You remind me so much of your dad, man. Like the way because make no mistake about it, man. We want to be. Listen, when you got a good daddy, man, you want to be just like him. Regardless of sport, I want to be the dude I came from, the dude that raised me, the dude that named me. And when once again, I keep saying this, Bobby Carter, he won't get an opportunity, right, to be in JC's position because they know he a dog. See, a guy like that, that's the only thing I go. How are certain names keep getting pushed to the top? Because you get a guy in there like Bobby, you already know. Jared Jones, like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, you remember me when I played. I ain't doing it because look, when you got people that it's a difference in wanting my money and doing anything for the money. I want my money now. I'm not gonna do anything. I mean, back in the day, old boy had the song "Bands to Make Her Dance." He ain't just talking about women. Oh, the guys will dance for that money too. I'm not doing it because I already know if I'm taking this bread, what do I got to really do? What do I got to really say? Hey, man, listen, we need you to go out there and tell the players to shut up. What? Tell them to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because what is it going to matter if they say Jerry Jones gave JC $100 million? What are they going to say? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because if an owner gives you money, they're going to give you what's that thing called? A disclosure agreement? Oh, you can't say. You think you can talk about this? No. This is called a shut up, take the money, and do what I tell you. Ask Roger Goodell about it. Ask him about it. And Roger Goodell get buku bucks to go out there and play nice. And man, please. So, yeah, I was happy to see it, though. The PA doesn't get enough credit. The PA is the voice because they send emails and the PA let you know, look, man, this is what you have this is what you can go out there and do for you and your family. These are the things that you work hard to achieve. Take full advantage of it. Because once again, love being a former player, but when I run into some of my former teammates and they be asking me stuff, I said, dude, you got to reach out to your chapter, you know what I'm saying, president, or because it's stuff. I say it's not good. They're not gonna send you checks now. If you expect, where my check at? No, unless it got left in the mail your last game, ain't no checks coming. Mm-hmm. But can you use it to your benefit? Absolutely, man. It's so as much flack as I give the league, man, I got to give them credit where credit is due. They do a lot of great things. You just got to take advantage of it while you're still in the position to do it. Because, like I say, these NFLPAs.com and NFLPlayerBenefits.com and all that stuff is cute, and the trust and all that stuff is great. But Bob, you know this, boy. You better take advantage while you can, while you got that tuition reimbursement and all that type of stuff.
Ben, let me tell you something, bro. I realized in the last year that I missed out on like $400,000 because I didn't fill out some paperwork soon enough after I left the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Literally, this is no exaggeration.
It's a you hear about it the day after the deadline. Oh shoot!
Yeah, and your agent should be on it, right? This is stuff your agent should be telling you as you're leaving the NFL. Hey, you're eligible for this, eligible for that, and But yeah, I just found out within the last year that I missed out on about $400K in benefits, cash benefits, because of the fact that I didn't get the paperwork done in time years ago. And it is what it is, man. The PA has done a phenomenal job as a whole for players, vested players and non-vested players. And, I'm looking for guys like Bobby Howard and hopefully my man JC to continue that, because these guys put a lot on the line. This is a profession where guys get into it, and we see some of our brothers losing their life, taking their life. And it's just, when you look at what the commitment is for these players, I just want the owners to step up, and I want the men and women who represent these players to also just make sure that they're doing right by the player, because there's a lot of enticing, and there's a lot going on with these owners, as DeMorris had alluded to, Ben, as you said in that book, and things that I already know from dealing with my dad. So
now that we've gotten all that lined out, I knew that was going to be a long segment as soon as I found that one. So finally going to get to the major topic that I put up here for this episode. Another, this has been an offseason full of some interesting trades, moves, things of that nature. Yet another wide receiver was traded last week. Me and Ben already talked about Buffalo getting their big receiver. Now Denver turned around and got Miami got a nice haul back for Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle isn't really considered an elite or top 10 receiver in most people's circles conversations. Even though people inside the NFL probably would tell you different, but you get a first round pick for him, you get a third round pick for him, and you get a fourth round pick swap with Miami to bring Jalen Waddle in there to help them over in Denver. I'm going to start off with Marvin on this one. Are you not surprised about the trade, but the compensation return?
I think what it comes down to is this. I think for Sean Payton, he realizes how close he is to a Super Bowl. And at the end of the day, that's all it's about. Half of these draft picks are going to be out the league in a year or two, 2 or 3 years. That's the truth. I mean, half of them. And maybe I should say half of the guys that are drafted late second and after that, are going to be out of the league within 3 years. It's a gamble. You're rolling the dice with all these draft picks, okay? Really what you want are proven commodities. You want guys that what they can do. And the reality is, I think that Waddle's a guy who was underused in Miami. I think that in a different situation, this guy would have been, a bigger name. And Denver, as we know, has really turned the corner ever since they got rid of Russell, brought in Bo. They were a game from the Super Bowl this year. And, a guy like Waddle, who is a dog receiver, who has track speed that you see show up on the football field. Because a lot of these dudes are track stars, but you don't see that in the game. With him, he's what you call a game breaker. He's a dude that could turn the lights out. You know what I'm saying? He's a dude that every defensive coordinator will be thinking about him the night before the game. When you have that caliber of speed and you're that fluid in your movements and you can catch the ball. I mean, and we saw him do it for Miami. We definitely saw him do it at Bama. The compensation makes sense if you think he's the piece that's going to get you to the Super Bowl. If you think he's going to be the difference in getting you over the hump, why not give away those draft picks, which are gambles anyway, crapshoots anyway, for a guy who's not a crapshoot, for a dude who you could do it. And when you have a young quarterback like they have, I mean, Bo's been there for a couple of years now, but he's going into year 3, I think. You give him a guy like that who can stretch the field, open it up for the run game. No, compensation was fine, man. I think at the end of the day, Sean Payton has put together his Mona Lisa. He's putting together his masterpiece. So, no, I think it was a good fit. I think Sean Payton knows what he's doing. This is a Super Bowl winning coach. He's highly respected. I think he knows what it looks like. He knows what he's looking for in a wide receiver. I think it was a great pickup for the Broncos, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Ben, your thoughts on the trade and, fair compensation, overcompensation? What do you feel?
Oh, well, it's fair. It's fair because we the thing about the draft pick, we get so caught up in them, but they got the last. They got to be there for you to be able to say, okay, this is what. Yeah, we can talk about Tom Brady being, the greatest pick 199. How many 199 picks made in the league? Not many. It wasn't many. And Jalen Waddle does put them over the top because you think about it. Cortland Sutton, he get to be a bona fide number one because I got a bona fide number two now in Jalen Waddle. Like Jalen Waddle coming in saying, I already know what my role is. I don't care about being on number one. Now he's going to get number one target. You talk about Evan Ingram, right, at the tight end position. Bo Nix in that running game, oh yeah. And let's face it, Bo Nix don't get hurt in the playoff game. They probably win it all this year. They probably hoisting up that Lombardi. And what Jalen Waddle does, it shows Bo Nix, we believe in you. You giving him a weapon like that, because everybody wants to talk about who's been the most impressive quarterback their first 2 years in the league. It's been freaking Bo Nix. He went to the playoffs his first year. They had the best record in the AFC in year two. This is the same Sean Payton that people thought couldn't call plays when he had Russell Wilson. Got Russell Wilson out of there. And he's been to back-to-back playoffs 2 years since. So, yeah, Jalen Waddle, number one, it says two things. Jalen Waddle obviously had a really, really good rapport and respect throughout that building in Miami because they traded him to a contender in the AFC. They don't usually do that. And number two, Jalen Waddle is a guy that can definitely help Miami get picks. If I don't want a guy in my building, how can he help me when he leaves? Trade him, get some picks for him, and you get multiple picks. If I'm getting multiple picks for one guy, I'm saying that hopefully one of these guys will work out, because we get so caught up in the best players in the league where the best teams got the best role players. The best teams got the best. They got a bunch of guys that you don't even know, and they be balling, right? I give you Seattle Seahawks defense. Most people wouldn't know who Ernest Jones is. He's the starting middle linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks. Dog. But most people wouldn't know who he is. Now, you know who Leonard Williams is, right? And so, yeah, for a guy like Jalen Waddle, he gets to go. Well, number one, he gets to go to a cold weather team, which is the arch nemesis of Miami when they go to the playoffs. They can't win in the cold weather. But I was happy for him. And they're just breaking the whole band up. No more Tyreek Hill. No more Jalen Waddle. Last year in the offseason, they got rid of Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Mika Fitzpatrick is going over to the Jets. You talk about, Chubb. Bradley Chubb is going on to Buffalo. Jalen Phillips got traded to your Eagles now. He's with the Carolina Panthers. So they getting rid. Anybody, the only player that they said is not on the trading block is A-Chain. And he wish he was, because everybody's going but him. Tua, there's now a Falcon, which I don't know how I really feel about that. I guess I'll take him over 10-man. I'm sorry, Michael Penix. So, yeah, I like this for Jalen Waddle, and I like this for Miami as well. The only person who was looking around saying what happened is Malik Willis. He like, dude, I don't know nobody.
We already know what Miami's doing. They're trying to beat out Marvin's Jets to tank to go get Arch Manning. We already know what the plan is in motion. They traded their entire offense away. Their entire defense is pick bone clean. There's one notable star left on the team. One. He's the only man left in the room now. Yeah. And speaking of like things being picked clean and stuff like that, Vic Fangio did an interview this week and was talked about being the feeder league for the rest of the league. If you look at some of the guys that's been taken from Philadelphia over the last few years, obviously Jalen Phillips, big deal to Carolina, and Nakobe Dean, gets a big deal to go out there to Las Vegas. Reed Blankenship, big deal to go to Houston. Josh Sweat left for Arizona last year. Milton Williams left for New England last year. Josh Jobe signed a 3-year deal. I think the year before to go to Seattle as well. So I don't think wouldn't say he's 100% right that we're a feeder league for the rest of the league, but all those guys that are mentioned there outside of Jalen Phillips were all drafted by Philadelphia, and they all went on the sign big contracts elsewhere.
Hey man, y'all doing players how really, really good head coaches do assistant coach. Y'all are becoming the pipeline. Now here's the thing though. Being a part of a winning organization doesn't mean you're going to take that type of culture to where you're going. You need the whole thing, not just one person. So it's a compliment, because and what it's really saying is this: we can win without you, right? Like, we appreciate it. We appreciate what you did, but when y'all got Woolen, man, I said, God that's a good freaking get, man. God, that's a good get.
I think it directly resulted in Darius Slay retiring this week.
And
he said he was only answering the phone for Philly, right? Then we signed Wooden. We signed this kid, Jonathan Jones, who flew himself in after signing. He flew himself into Philadelphia.
Whoa! Y'all
we got Jonathan Jones too. So there was no way that even Slade was going to get reps here in Philadelphia, and he did the smart thing. In 13 years, he hung him up there. There ain't no shame in that.
Well, he said it though, didn't he? Say the only way I'm going to not retire is if I get a call from Philly. And it was like, listen, man, listen. Darius Slay is from Brunswick, Georgia. I used to live in Brunswick, Georgia. That's why I was doing like ESPN radio. We was ESPN Coastal, Savannah, Hilton Head, Brunswick, whatever. When he was getting ready to when he was a free agent with the Detroit Lions, he was at home in Brunswick. He does like a soccer camp. And my kids who don't know who Darius Slay is, they much younger than, I take them out to the camp. And what I appreciate the most about Darius, this is a guy getting ready to get his big payday. He is out there running around with my kids like they're his kids. He is interacting with, and what I appreciated the most about him was he's just an easygoing dude that's a hell of a football player. And I say that to say this about football players current players. Don't get too big for your community, man. Don't think that I can't. And let me say this. You don't need no security, man. The only person I think needs security, and this is no lie, that I've ever seen. When I was living in Jersey, this is when Odell Beckham is like, this is like Odell, one-handed Odell. I was doing something. I think we were taking my daughter to Macy's, that big old gigantic Macy's right there, Marv, right there in downtown New York. It's like a block long, a block wide, crazy.
Yeah.
He gets out the car, and we got the big bleach hair, And I ain't never seen grown men act like this. They're running up to Odell like he, you know what I'm saying? Like he Chris Brown or something, like at a concert or something, like with women. And here's the thing, Antrell Rowe, who won a Super Bowl, starting safety, he comes in. So Odell comes in. They got to about shut Macy's down because it's crazy. Antrell gets out the same car, and I go, what's up, Antrell? I said, what's up, Antrell? That's it. Ain't nobody run up to, and I said, this dude is a rock star, dude. Like this dude right here is a freaking rock star. So it's shout out to Darius Slay. That Philadelphia culture is starting to get on my nerves, Steven. I'm telling you, because you got players saying, "I'll come out."
Well, not just that. Did you see what happened with Dallas Goedert this week, right? Yeah. If he wasn't re-signed to the team, the Eagles were going to get hit with a $20 million cap hit for him not being on the team, right? Dallas Goedert then signs below market value to come back. He signed for $3 million less than what he played for last year. He had a career year last year. So it's one of these things like people talk about, like sometimes they like you don't that home downtown discount doesn't really mean anything. It means something right there. Because if Dallas Goedert goes anywhere, they're probably only going to have like under $11 million of cap space for the rest of the season, because he signs there and they signs under how much he got paid last year. I think they're sitting at like $34 million in cap space right now. So the culture thing here in Philadelphia is real. Howie Roseman's a freaking magician when it comes to crunching numbers, moving cap things around, moving contracts around, putting bonuses in the right places to protect not only the team, but also to help the players out. So, it's definitely I don't think we're the feeder league pipeline, like as Vic was sitting there saying. But I do think that over the last 2 years, looking how many players have been taken from that defense, it makes you want to.
Steve, something, it reminds me of what was happening also in New England. When Belichick and Brady were in the midst of their 6th Super Bowl run, if you were a player drafted by Belichick and he cut you, you was getting picked up quick by other teams. You know what I'm saying? It's just the amount of respect that they have. And I think when you look what Howie Rose has been able to do, just collect all that talent, and people see you guys winning and being competitive, playing at a high level. people want to be. This is how you can dip into his brain. This is how you can get some of that Philadelphia magic. You go get the players who he thought were good. At the end of the day,
I gotta hop off a second. I gotta deal with something real fast, guys. Finish this.
Go ahead, Marv.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I just think what it comes down to is, when you got so many organizations that, don't know how to do it, they don't know what it looks like, they've never been they've never been a championship organization, they've never been able to draft correctly, they miss on the majority of their picks. That's most teams that do that. So when you get people like old school Belichick, the old school Patriots with Belichick and Brady, and and Howie Roseman out, obviously, the Eagles are on a phenomenal run. You know what I mean? Just going back to when they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They are a first-class organization who knows how to evaluate talent and pick those guys. The truth is, Philly may be in situations where you can only keep 53 outside the practice squad.
That's probably what's going on, right? It's like you saying to yourself, because the closed door meetings when they have the staff meeting, they say, okay, who can
Ben. You're frozen. Yeah, so we've lost Ben Troupe here. We've lost Steve, obviously having some technical difficulties, but yeah, it just comes down to the fact that in the NFL you have a small percentage of teams that have their stuff together. Even with 32 teams, only a handful of teams are really competitive at the highest level. You go into each season, saying everybody has a chance. It's a new season, we're 0-0. But the reality is when the same management and the same leadership are making the same kind of decisions, I think what ends up happening is they keep getting the same results. Whereas with the with the Eagles, again, old school Patriots, it's a situation where you want to take from the teams who are doing well. You want to take from the teams that are doing it right. So that makes sense. I think what's bigger than getting the player from these teams is you got to get the mentality. You got to figure out what Howie Roseman and what Belichick were doing, in those draft rooms, how they were evaluating players. You need to learn the mentality so you can go out there and get your own players. So yeah, it's it makes sense. If I was one of these teams, I wasn't competitive and I wasn't getting it right in the draft and I wasn't getting it right in free agency, I would absolutely go after the GM who has a history, has a track record of doing it right. So Steve, I think it makes sense. It's a smart thing to do. I think it's fair to say that the Eagles are the feeder to some of these teams. And we're just seeing it play out. Hey, I lost both of y'all. Hold it down.
Let me show you something. Let me show you how. I shouldn't do this. Let me show you something. Look at this.
He's still frozen. He's still frozen.
I'm still frozen. And mind you, listen, mind you, I'm like, dang, man, I done got froze. But Marv, check this out. I want to commend you. And then let me say what we don't get to do on air. The fact that you kept holding me down when I was gone, that is how you know you built for this. Because when I first got on radio, that happened. Like, we come back off a break, and everybody, somebody that they ain't back. And I'm like, hello? Yeah. And my producer is doing this. I'm like, what does this mean? Not realizing he's saying, they can hear you. Oh, and to me, that's when because we were talking about it before the show. You built for this, man, because you easy to work with. Most, you like me, Mark, people gonna think, I don't know if I want to work with the former players. They might come in the title. I said, dude, stop looking at TV, bro. Like, that ain't no representation of me. Listen, jerks are jerks regardless of what you do. Being an a-hole is an a-hole. You think because he play a sport? No, the sport just shows you he an a-hole. His family been there. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I appreciate you holding me down. I'm sitting here like, I done went froze. Marvin kept it going. I came back. I said, okay.
I thought I was wondering you were frozen only on my end. I thought it was my, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta do sometimes, right?
Listen, yeah. All you got to do is look at that little at the bottom where it say you are in the show. So we still going, baby. Still going.
Yeah.
I did want to touch on some baseball stuff. I know that I still had a couple football things I wanted to talk to, but we wait for that for another week. One of the things I came across, I think it was like last week that I didn't get a chance to kind of talk to us about, that there's actually a former White Sox pitcher that's actually suing the team, alleging that he was coerced in taking the COVID vaccine. That shot left him with a permanent automatic nervous system disorder that ended his career. Again, not trying to get political or anything like that. You know, we all know how Aaron Rodgers felt about when they brought this vaccine in and they were forcing it on people, athletes, etc. But now we're seeing it in baseball where situation happened and it, you know, the after effects ended this gentleman's career. Do you think this is probably the first of many that we might see, regardless if it's baseball, football, whatever sport, that could possibly see over the next handful of years?
Steve, I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if I ever told you this. I went to law school at St. Thomas University in Miami. Only did a year in the summer. But based on what I just saw and based on what I learned in law school, my argument would be you could have just quit. No one really forced you to do anything. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you chose to put that thing on your arm. You could have said no. They didn't hold you down. They didn't tie you down. And if you would have walked, there would have been some type of remedy or way for you to go to another team, or whatever it may be. They would have figured that out. But I don't know that he has a right to blame the team, and I don't know unless he can prove that what was in that vaccine is definitely what caused that. I mean, there's a lot of elements to this thing, man. I don't see this going, especially when you consider, this is, a pandemic, meaning it's global. The whole world's affected by this. And there were a lot of countries, a lot of governments that made decisions based on the greater good. So I think all that kind of factors in. He may be telling the truth, but I don't know if there's really a path for him to be compensated. And I'm thinking on this on the go, but then again, in America, you can sue somebody for anything. You could sue for anything, you know what I mean? Whether you'll be successful in that, whether you can prove your case in that, I don't know. I would think that there's no path for him to get no check. That's what I would think. There's too much going against him when you look at how big that problem was and just the disarray we were in as a world. The world was just all messed up over that. I don't know. I just see him trying to get a bag.
Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough because when you use words like coerce, you coerce me to do it. They're gonna ask him, well, what did they say? What did they say to you? And then they're gonna ask him, did you have the option to say no? And he's gonna be like, yeah, but and so it's. I mean, Marv, you went to like you said, you went to law school, regardless of how long you went, and that language, lawyers can ask the same question like 1,000 ways, man. They can just that they'll say, and the thing is, they're gonna ask anybody who took the vaccine, who made you take it? Like, How did they make you take it? No, I know they presented some options with you, and then they're gonna ask this. Did anybody on the team not take it? Yeah, it was okay. So you had the opportunity to say no. Look, he can have some really, really good lawyers, but here's the thing about that. When you going up against businesses that got lawyers on retainer, you got to go find yours. They just call theirs. Hey, man, they ain't gonna. I'm gonna keep saying this. Nick Saban was going to have a show called The Shop, just like LeBron. And he was asked on TV one time in an interview, you think there's going to be a problem with you having a show in a barbershop, and LeBron already got a show in a barbershop called The Shop? He said, you can have two shows the same way. Have you ever seen Nick Saban show The Shop? Me neither. Because he didn't realize, bro, you don't want to do this. LeBron has your full net worth in a year. He can make that in a year. Nick, you the most highly respected, probably the GOAT college football coach. That's LeBron James. if you walk into Walgreens in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to draw a crowd. LeBron can't do that. LeBron can't go nowhere without being noticed. So I hope he get his money because I'm always. But like you said, Marv, what did the old boy tell old boy from 300 tell Jamie Foxx in that one movie? Law-abiding citizen. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove in court. You got to prove that. And if you can't prove it, because them lawyers they're gonna rip up. They're gonna be like, now they coerced you to do it. Yeah, and now they're gonna listen. They're gonna be looking for genetic records. They're gonna be looking for medical records. They're gonna be looking for anything that they're gonna say. And if you got a long medical, and then we talking about your parents. Is there anybody in your history that has had this? Yeah, well, I had yeah, man. Yeah. I went through the NFL concussion protocol. I know how big corporations work when you're trying to. It don't matter what you say. You had your bell rung. Yeah, but so I hope he get it. But putting out articles ain't winning cases. I wish him the best in that courtroom. Because once again, when you got to put that suit on and you got to go to that different arena, them lawyers, man, they say this is what we do, brother. That's why players don't negotiate their own contracts. Real agents supposed to be lawyers. That's how they know them language in them contracts. Mm-hmm. People say, hey, man, I want to be an agent. Do you want to represent players or do you want to know the law? Because my agent was a lawyer out of New York who was just as good and big as Drew Rosenhaus and them. So, hey, man, I wish him the best. I hope he get his bag. But if you get your bag, it ain't going to be what you think. Oh, it's not going to be what you think. Take what you want and cut it in half and cut that in half. Because if them TV lawyers, if you get in a car accident and one call that's all, whatever his name is, if he want 35%, what you think a lawyer on retainer gonna want? Anyway, I hope he get his bread, man. I hope he get it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. And speaking of interesting things, another thing I came across that seemed really weird to me, right? So, World Baseball Classic just went down, and unfortunately, there were some players that weren't allowed to be in it for insurance rules that USA forced to play. People are saying the B squad because Mike Trout came. Their captain was denied coverage, sat at home, apparently healthy. Puerto Rico lost Lindor, Carrera, both healthy, but the insurance company said no. Imagine like the hockey championship being played without Connor McDavid, or because insurance provider said it was too risky for him to play and wouldn't accept that. I just find this to be one. This is the first I heard about it when I came across this, but two, this is an extremely weird situation where I guess these guys are insured, and the insurance company was like, we're not going to insure. Trout and these other guys. Again, Marvin, let's start with you on this one.
I would think that speaks to their injury history and the likelihood, and I'm also assuming that this insurance just deals with injury and compensating the player in the event they get hurt, if it impacts their MLB salary, whatever it may be. That's what I'm thinking it's all tied to. So, Trout is, one of the greatest players to ever play baseball, but he's also been hurt like no other. This guy's missed a lot of time. And I would think that's probably why they did that. Insurance companies, they're not emotional; they're objective. They look at the world black and white. They don't have feelings. They're not fans of anything. They look at the likelihood of them having to pay you out based upon your history. And history definitely is an indicator for what's happening in the future. So that's all that was. I don't think it's really, when you understand it like that, it's not as crazy as you think. So I get it, I do.
Yeah. Ben, your thoughts, Trout basically not in the World Baseball Classic because the insurance wouldn't cover him.
Yeah, well, sometimes too, age can have something to do with it as well. And you talking about insurance, they all about risk. They saying, dude, like, we ain't crazy. We know how long you've been in the MLB. We know, and we're thinking about this. If you do get hurt, you win twice. You get to win out there with your teammates, and you get to collect on this settlement. So, yeah, when you talk about insuring players, the younger you are, it's probably going to be the best opportunity for you to get insured because you ain't got that medical history. The older you are, I mean, it's like this. What you pay more insurance for? A newer car or older car? A newer one. Yeah. That older one, it's on its last leg. Dude, you just get liability. You don't even need if somebody hits you, that's it. You know, so Mike Trout, I will say this, nothing screams it's coming to an end. You can't even play in the world of baseball.
Exactly.
Like nothing says, think about this. Mike, what? They denied you. What? They denied you coverage. And you know he said, you know how long I've been? Yes. They've been dealing with you that long, brother. So it ain't like you ain't got to do it. Let them youngins go out there and have it. You know what I'm saying? Let the new faces of the, Judge and all them go out there. So, yeah. And it's not like it was just him. Like you said, it was other players too. But, yeah, nothing screams. It's about that time. But looking at my rolling.
Something like that, yeah. And one other thing I wanted to mention, obviously, props to Venezuela. World gold medal, all that stuff. But what Bryce Harper did after the fact, right? The fact that went out, made sure he shook everyone's hands. Now, obviously, his quote here is basically like wanted to win the goal like anybody else, but at the night they did it. They won. All congratulations to them. What they did, what they fought to, how they played, great game. But I got nobody and nothing but respect for them. So the fact that after everything was all said and done, all the medals are given out. A lot of the guys are just going in the locker room, licking their wounds. Bryce Harper made it a point to go and find every Venezuelan player and shake their hand and congratulate them. That's a rare quality. We talk everyone wants to be hard on Bryce about this, about that. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. He's not elite anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Well, he's an elite captain, teammate, and player. And it's a rare quality to see in baseball today, what he did. Let's start off with Ben on this one. I know Bryce Harper, but
I will say this.
That's why he's the face of the game.
He's Bryce Harper. I mean, I give Bryce Harper, flack because he in the same division as my Braves. That's what I'm saying. Like go from the Nationals to the freaking Phillies. That's it. Bryce Harper is him now. He's Timothy now. Don't get it twisted. And it's maturity from him. He understands that everything he does is going to be polarizing. So I'm gonna give y'all something to talk about. I'm gonna go shake hands. I'm gonna make. I'm a highly outspoken player, so I'm not gonna get quiet now. But no, it says a lot about him, and I give Bryce Harper flack, but I mean it in nothing but the highest regard of respect. I know the type of player he is, and to shake all those guys' hands, I can imagine what that meant to them. I know that Ronald Acuna Jr. is Venezuela. I know he was on that team. I can imagine those players saying, "Dude, that freaking Bryce Harper came and shook my hand after we won that thing." So, shout out to him. And with age comes maturity. And I think for Bryce Harper, he understands that these opportunities are rare. And I'd rather be remembered for a moment of, sportsmanship than anything else. Of course, I wanted to win. That game was freaking nuts. That game was nuts. And God, man, I wish we would have got it. When we got down 2-0, I'm like, oh, here we go. Did battle back. That Venezuelan team, which I mean, when we beat Dominican Republic, I thought we gonna win this thing. You beat Dominican Republic, but Venezuela,
listen. Wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. Wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. I mean, let's not get it twisted. That island known as Dominican Republic and Venezuela, these people, they run baseball, man. Some of the best players in MLB are not from America. That go Tatis. You know what I'm saying? You talk about Ronald Acuna Jr. You talk about so it's so many guys, but shout out to Bryce Harper, man, doing things the right way because he knows, just like a Mike Trout, I don't know how many more of these I'm gonna get to do. So let me at least cherish this moment. It was a class act, and I was happy to say, God, I wish we would have won it, man. But what we are in football, we good at baseball, but I wouldn't call us the best anymore. We shoot. When the World Cup comes, and the good old US of A is in there, we ain't gonna be in there long. But congratulations to Venezuela. I think I think it's their first one, so congratulations to them.
Yeah. One last one. This has kind of been the news over the last month. Mr. Logan Paul was trying to get a boxing match. Sitting there saying he could knock out this pro athlete. He could whip freaking Myles Garrett, all this other nonsense. And when everything came down to it, you had a couple guys that were more than willing to play ball with him. He was going back and forth with with a couple notable players, and then all of a sudden he gets a phone call from WWE talking about if he slips and falls, does this, that, and the third. So they weren't going to let him go box. Let's be honest. That was his buddy calling him on the phone. That wasn't a WWE official. They were trying to save him from himself. Because, man, first and foremost, if Myles Garrett got a hold of Logan Paul, that's a bad day for Logan Paul. I get it. I get it. He's a very athletic guy, stuff like that. If Myles Garrett,
Logan might knock Myles Garrett. I ain't never seen Myles Garrett. I ain't never seen Myles Garrett box. I know what you're gonna say, Marv, but he don't want. I would. I don't know if I'm gonna pay, but I would want to see Le'Veon fight him. I would want to see Le'Veon
Bell.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell was going to offer up $1 million to fight him.
Whoa, hold on.
Le'Veon Bell will get knocked out. Dude, listen, say what you want. Paul, this dude been training for real.
Yeah, no, he
trains
right.
for real.
I think Le'Veon Bell, that would have been a fair fight.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Logan might get at him. No, you missed one. Logan might get at him, but I'm telling you, it ain't. I don't like when a guy like Logan fights a guy like Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd is better than him. Like Floyd, I ain't talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I would want to see Le'Veon versus Logan Paul. I would want to see that. I'm not saying Le'Veon. Just look at it like this. Marv. I expect the boxer to eventually beat the football player, but I'm telling you, I think it'll be better, because if they come to Le'Veon and say, "Hey man, you think Le'Veon for the no, bro, I'm gonna fight him. Like I'm gonna try to fight him." Now his brother. I don't know Le'Veon for that now.
Okay, hold on. I mixed it up. I'm thinking of Jake Paul.
No. This is the brother. This is Logan. This
okay.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? You think about Jake. No, not Jake. This is Logan.
Okay. That's different. That's completely different.
It's the little brother, not the big brother.
No, yeah. Logan is the taller one. You know what I'm saying? Logan is the one to do all the podcasts, do a bunch of podcasts. I was like, well, think about Jake. No, we ain't talking about Jake. Right. We talking about Logan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Logan might hit the canvas. Because you notice, right? He reached out he said Myles Garrett, but when Le'Veon called him, he come to crickets. And it's almost like, you going after a dude we ain't never seen box. Why don't you go after the dude who box? Because Adrian Peterson thought he wanted to box. When Le'Veon went night-night. Le'Veon was like, bro, you signal rush for 2,000 yards. This ain't it. What's his name? Frank Gore. That's another one too. He can fight too. He can fight.
I just thought it was funny. Like he's sitting there trying to get all these players to sit there and do it. You had a couple guys who were willing to put up the $1 million to make the fight happen, and then all of a sudden WWE calls. It was like, oh wait, you can't box. So listen,
Logan don't want smoke, man. Because here's the thing: why are you calling out people that don't do it when there are people that do it? Like Le'Veon said, "What's up?" Like that's like saying, "Look, they used to do pros versus Joes, and God, I just locked up Jerry Rice, 55-year-old Jerry Rice. Is who you're talking about? That's who you're talking about? No, sir, no." And here's the thing. If Jerry Rice ran 10 routes and he caught 7, that's not locking him up. That's still not doing it. So
it was fun for us to make fun of. I'll just say it like that.
Logan, go see Le'Veon. If you ain't talking to Le'Veon or Frank Gore, I don't want to hear no smoke. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Because Marv thought you was Jake. That's how you know you ain't him. He like, oh, you talking about the brother? Oh.
Yeah.
That's like asking for Mike Jackson and you get Tito Jackson. Nobody want Tito. We want Mike.
Listen, I agree. If it was Jake, not Logan, there might have been. If
it was Jake, somebody gonna put up that bill. They gonna put up
WWE. There's a reason why he's in the WWE, not doing the same thing his brother's doing, because he may enjoy boxing, but he ain't about the fighter life. And that there's a it's the same thing I say about like people who do boxing, people who do MMA, than people who do bare knuckle. It takes a special type of fighter, of athlete, to do those different ones, and that's why there's levels to it. It takes a special, a guy that does bare knuckle maybe not the greatest MMA fighter, but there's some of these MMA fighters or boxers that can't do bare knuckle. There's a different mentality when it comes to some of it. Jake just needs to continue to enjoy the paychecks that he's getting from the WWE and not try to poke the big bears because listen, Le'Veon Bell wasn't the only one. I'm gonna just say it like that. Le'Veon Bell might have been the one making the most noise, getting, but there are some other monsters out there that was saying, "I'll do that." So
for $1 million, you can have a bunch of dudes come out the woodwork.
Called out saying you light up Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett just pointing and laughing at you because contractually he's not going to be able to do anything about it.
Listen, Austin Rivers said that he can find 50 NBA players that can play in the NFL right now. He's lost his mind.
Absolutely,
he's lost his mind. And everybody that say, I know, listen, the most athletic player in the NBA will get rock bottom in the NFL. LeBron, Ant-Man, any of them. Stop the madness.
So remember our talk about your Atlanta Falcons last week, right?
Yeah.
I literally just got a comment on my YouTube from King Atlanta supporter that the Falcons will be Super Bowl champions. Watch.
He didn't say when.
You're right. He didn't say when. He didn't say
2026. He didn't say, yeah. And hopefully that happens before Jesus come back there.
Listen. We all love our teams. We got our players that we
shout
love.
Shout out to the fan though, man. I love the enthusiasm. Love the optimism, but Michael Penix ain't gonna be the quarterback if they doing it. He's with Dorothy, with the cowardly lion and the scarecrow on the
Want to get Marvin's last thought on something, then we'll wrap it. The trade that just sent Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs, is he going to be the security blanket before Patrick gets back?
So this is the thing: the fact that, because I was one of these guys saying, get him the hell out of New York right now. Okay, I was happy when we got him, but then during the season he wasn't getting the ball out of his hands. And what pisses me off is that Andy Reid signed off on this, which means Andy Reid sees potential. Andy Reid sees how he can use this dude to be valuable. Andy Reid's another guy who's a good evaluator of talent, and it's not going to shock me at all for Justin Fields to start the season and look good. And it's going to piss me off as a Jet fan. It's going to piss me off. He's the next Sam. Is he the next Sam Darnold? Is that what we're dealing with now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I kid you not. Like, so the Jets are just a dumpster fire of an organization.
I know, and I'm going to go ahead and call it. The Super Bowl is going to be the Jets versus the Falcons. That's what I want. Just give it to me in misery, just like that.
No, you don't, because then you have to root against Marvin.
No, the Jets are gonna the Falcons are gonna be winning all game, and the Jets are gonna beat them in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna keep saying this. In my will, my pallbearers are the Atlanta Falcons, so they can let me down one last time, because they're gonna do it. And I shouldn't be a Falcons fan at this point, because I want to live a happy life. And my therapist go, Ben, you still root for the Falcons? I go, yeah. She go, why you? Because I'm not a bandwagon dude, man. Like, I've been doing it since Dion, man. My head coach used to leave tickets for Elvis. He did at freaking will call. Like an MC Hammer and Evander Holyfield on the sideline. People got fur coats. The old Georgia Dome, not the new one, not Mercedes-Benz. So that's why me and Marv rock, because Marv said, I'm not jumping off. Real fans root for teams that are rough. You've gone through it, Steven, but you seeing the glory years. So I can't wait another 40 years, though. God, man. Give me something. Come on, Mike.
Right. As we wrap this one up, final thoughts, Marvin. Final thoughts, Ben.
Final thoughts. I tell you what, I'm 24/7 football, man. I am. I'm not gonna lie to you. We just got past the combine, getting ready for the draft. I'm excited about that. I'm excited it's March Madness. That March Madness and NBA Finals kind of keep me together as we wait to get to football season. So I'm excited to see St. John's stun everybody and come out this thing the champ as the 5 seed. And we'll roll with that. I'm riding with St. John's and March Madness. I said it.
All right.
You already know who I'm rocking with. You already know who I'm rocking with when it comes number 1 seed 2 years in a row, trying to go back to back. Yes, we lost to them Vanderbilt boys in the SEC tournament. Congratulations, Arkansas and John Calipari, because you're not winning it all. We already know 10 teams from the SEC in the tournament. Marvin Powell for the Hall of Fame. Marvin Powell documentary Netflix series. I'll pay to watch it.
My man. Appreciate you, man.
Again, I always appreciate you guys. Yeah, I mean, for people who did tune in today and did comment, appreciate you adjusting with us. Time frame, day frame. We both of these gentlemen got lives, got other things going on besides giving you guys great content. So always down to move things around to accommodate, to make sure everything's good for everybody. And again, like as we kick the show off, Marvin, hoping everything's good with the missus, and everything keeps trending in the right direction. She and your family is always in our prayers, and hopefully you guys get through 2026 in the right direction.
Appreciate that, y'all. Appreciate both of y'all. Thank you.
Not a problem. But that will do it for today's episode of The Fan in the End. Make sure you guys are locked in. The QR code for the YouTube channel is above. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, showing us love on all the platforms. And also, make sure you guys are checking out Marvin's work, because Marvin does more than just what he does here on the Tribune. So I always want to make sure whatever.
What is it? Locked in on SC, locked in on the Trojans. You're on the Believe Network.
Yeah, I'm guys. You can catch me on Locked On USC. You can catch me at Inside the Trojan Huddle, which now is on, as of this week, is now also on Locked On.
Look at it. Inside the Trojan Huddle, and he went to SC, not the people in Columbia.
Right.
He went to SC.
Right.
And so again, guys, show Marvin some love on
yes, sir.
The other shows.
One of the best in the game.
Ben has a couple other shows outside of what he does.
Man. I mean, y'all already know, man. Winning the division. Myself and Ryan Smith. I got No Wetters in the Fall, 84 Reasons, and soon to come. Gonna have the backstory. That's a college football podcast. It has nothing to do with the current games. And back as advertised, just being Troupe talk. I'll be able to talk to Marv one-on-one, Steve one-on-one. We ain't gonna be talking football, gonna be talking life. You don't got to like it. Just make sure you listen. Shut up and just listen. It's okay.
All right, everyone. As for this episode, we are done. We are in the books. We will see you guys next week. I'm Steve. That's Marvin. That's Ben. This was another episode of The Fan in the End. We will catch you guys on the rebound, my friends. Peace out.